you turn the video off? We'll just do audio.
All right, let me figure that one out.
Yeah.
Let me figure that one out, so we won't gotta do that.
Hi, Aaron. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Appreciate it. Thanks for taking time to be on the show
well.
today.
No problem.
Yeah, I hope all is well with you, and thanks for being patient. And welcome on Pro Wrestling Enforcer podcast.
Thanks for having me, guys. Sorry, it seems like we're kind of jumping through hoops to get it going, man.
No worries, man. That's what we do. That's what we do. We make it happen here.
Well, I appreciate you being on the show and just let everybody know who you are. And we got Aaron Williams joining us, the baddest man on the planet, of course. Check him out. He was a former Berwyn Championship Wrestling World Champion. He's also going to be a Black Label Pro coming up on February 29th in the Chicagoland area, which is going to be a big weekend for pro wrestling, and also part of Rockstar Pro Wrestling. And we welcome you on the show.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's good to be on here talking to y'all. Got some cool stuff coming up. Haven't been to Berwyn in a while, but yeah, got Black Label coming up soon. All kinds of cool stuff coming up, which I guess we're probably going to talk about a lot of that. So
definitely. Would you like to tell us a little bit about it, man? We know your history with Rockstar. We know you were in Fort Ohio with Zach Wentz. And if I'm correct, Kris and several other names along that list, Desmond Xavier. Tell us about your beginnings in the business, if you will, and what led up to that point.
I guess I started years ago at a little place in Cincinnati called Independent Wrestling Incorporated, and then I eventually moved my way to Heartland Wrestling Association with guys like John Moxley and Sammy Callahan and Eli Drake, Nigel McGuinness, Chad Collier, Matt Stryker, a lot of fantastic talents. Yeah, a lot of fantastic talent came through there, as well as Dave and Jake Christ. And we were all kind of there. Obviously, everybody went their own separate ways, and some of them achieved incredible stardom, and some of us just keep kicking it wherever we can and trying to find that break. And then eventually, HWA shut down. Rockstar Pro Wrestling was born, and that's where I kind of hang out now, as well as plenty of other places. You mentioned Dave and Jake Christ and Desmond Xavier and all those guys, and they've all, I guess they're all pretty much up in Impact right now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they're all doing their thing.
Yes.
It's kind of weird.
It's kind of weird, but hey, you know what? We've all got a place to go somewhere, and you've got enough talent to get to wherever you're getting to, and we're probably going to see you on the big stage very soon, which is going to be something awesome. I followed your work along with guys like Moxley and Callahan, and I'm a fan. I won't lie. So I'm very familiar with your work. Sean, you want to say anything? Hey, it's no problem.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Yeah, yes, for sure. And, obviously, Aaron, I got to talk to you back at Berwyn Championship Wrestling a year ago, where you had lost the title, of course, to Kris Shogun Logan. That was an incredible match, and I know you had the title for about a year when the promotion started. So talk about that, man. That opportunity to wrestle in Chicago, and hopefully getting another opportunity to come back in the Chicago area.
Yeah, I first got into Chicago, I guess it was a couple of years back, with a company called Blitz Pro Wrestling, or Pro Wrestling Blitz. And I got in there through Tony Scarpone and everything, and they wanted to start using me, which was my first break into the Chicago area, which is a place I had been trying to get for a long time at that time, because the Chicagoland area, as anybody who's ever been a wrestling fan knows, that's a booming area. That's where you want to be. And it's kind of hard to break in unless you know people, and I really didn't know anybody then. So him bringing me into Blitz kind of like started the ball rolling to make that happen. I met Chris Logan at Blitz initially. I think I wrestled a gentleman by the name of the Cobra up there and beat him for their No Limits championship. And then that eventually brought me and Chris together. I do believe the last show they had was a match that him and I had where we unified the titles. I wasn't victorious in that one, but that show was pretty wild. It had a lot of fantastic talents on it, like John Morrison or Johnny Nitro or Johnny Impact, whatever you want to call him, was on there. T. Valkyrie was on there.
Yeah. Oh, I recall that.
I guess that. Yeah, I guess that day it was Johnny Blitz, whatever, like considering his shtick. And a lot of other guys was Mil Mortis there that day? I think so.
He was.
There was a lot of great guys up there, and it was actually rumored that I was going to get to work with Mil Mortis a little bit, but then unfortunately Blitz closed down. Fast forward a little bit, and then Berwyn Championship Wrestling was born, and I went in there and had a bunch of matches with Vic Capri. And I eventually won the title in a ladder match with Vic Capri and the other guy's slipping my mind right now. But another gentleman, and I won the title there and kind of reigned for a little bit. And then eventually me and Chris Logan locked horns again. And I think I retained once and then I lost it. And then I think unfortunately that was my last show up there. Then I got started really busy doing other stuff and had some personal life situations kind of come into effect and everything like that, and haven't been able to get back out there. But I did get the opportunity to start working at Black Label Pro a couple of months ago, which is also in the Chicagoland area. Got a big match coming up with them. Next, no, it's not next week. It's the following week. It's the 22nd. Is it the 22nd or the 21st? It's one of the 29th. 29th. Oh, yeah. Because it's going to be 22nd, 21st is this week. Yeah. So the 29th, I'll be wrestling Rin Narita from New Japan Pro Wrestling, which I'm very excited about. And I think that's going to be very, very cool. And I'm really, really happy that they're putting me in a light that I feel like I'm going to excel in, because it's hard to get in those opportunities, you know. And a lot of guys from my area have been put in situations like that, and it's changed their careers. And I've just been waiting for basically an opportunity like that. And I think Black Label's given me one, so I'm going to take full advantage of it. And that is, I guess, basically it for I got to do a couple freelance underground shows, or one freelance underground show, which is very cool. Wrestled Effie and CBR, I think, and Eddie Only. But man, I really like Chicago. Like, I've actually considered moving closer to there and getting out of Ohio and moving that way, just to have a better opportunity to work for the companies in that area. Because as much as I love Ohio, there's really not as many booming places down here as there is up there, and it'd be nice to be able to have those consistent big shows like Freelance and Black Label and Berwyn and a host of others that are in that area.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure it cuts down travel expenses as well.
Yeah.
The guy that you fought for the Berwyn Championship Wrestling title was actually Jaden Roller. I just looked at
Jaden. Yes. Okay.
And Vic Capri, and that was a triple threat match where you got the belt. And wow. And I just saw it right below that you took on Samantha Heights and beat her in the first blood match. So tell us about
that. Like that was an interesting period of time. Like at Rockstar Pro, I've usually always been kind of what you would consider a white meat baby face. Like everybody always liked me and everything like that. But then I went through uh, a pretty dynamic transition, and I kind of got into it with Dave Kris. But Dave Kris didn't want anything to do with me at the time. He just didn't have. The time to deal with little old Aaron Williams. So I kind of had to go about getting his attention whatever way I could. And one of his main students is Samantha Heights. So I guess I kind of started picking on her a little bit. And one thing led to another. And we had a couple of matches. And eventually it led to a first blood match where that match was in December, if I'm not mistaken. And she brought a candy cane, like one of them big candy canes, to the ring, and she had sharpened it. Sharpened it to a point, to where it was basically like it was a knife. It was a shank. She made a shank out of a candy cane. And I turned it around on her and ended up busting her open with a candy cane shank.
Well, she brought it to
Oh, man.
It's all legal.
Yeah, exactly.
For calling for blood. Now, you're talking about facing Ren Narita. If I could ask a question on this. Seeing that they gave you the doorway facing Ren Narita and New Japan Young Lion, could you see yourself working for New Japan in the future when they move into the Chicago area with the plans they have coming to America to have shows in this area?
Oh man, that would be incredible. I mean, that's the goal for me. Honestly, that's like my goal. I mean, of course, if I could get, like some kind of TV contract in the States, that would be fantastic. But just being my style and just like the type of person I am, I would like to be able to wrestle for some of these companies that go overseas and make my living that way. And New Japan would be fantastic to be able to do that with. So if that opportunity arose, I mean, if there's an option to pursue that opportunity, I'm definitely going to jump at it. And I see this match, although it's just one match, and nothing could happen from it, or one match can change your entire career. So I'm trying to look at it as the career changing opportunity that it can be. And hopefully when they do start moving over this way and start running shows on a semi-regular basis or regular basis, I'll be a name that someone will put in their ear and make something happen.
Yeah.
Well, as a fan, I definitely would love to see that. I'm sure a lot of us would. And that would be something that changes everyone's career, especially when you go that way, for sure.
Yeah. Definitely.
You got anything like to say, Sean?
Yeah, well, I want to mention to Aaron that, talk about how big wrestling is today. Like, maybe people don't realize it. Sometimes the WWE doesn't sell out the arenas, but independent wrestling in general, how big it is today, more than it was like 15 years ago.
Oh yeah, man. Like that's it's actually kind of crazy. Like wrestling in general has like grown leaps and bounds. Like from when I started, because I mean, I can tell on myself a little bit. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm actually very proud of that. There's a lot of people, a lot of guys that like look up to me because of my tenure and my skill level, because I've gotten the opportunity to work with a lot of fantastic wrestlers because I've been around for as long as I have. But when I came in, it was the WCW and ECW had just closed down, and Ring of Honor just started like becoming a thing and everything like that. And that's when I started training, was when that period of time was happening. So when I started training, it was WWE, and then Ring of Honor was just this small blossoming little promotion. And then of course TNA eventually popped up, and all that jazz. NWA was pretty much non-existent, other than having ties to TNA. So you had so little of stuff. You just grasped at any independent show you could go to and hoped for the best. I was fortunate enough to have a couple in Cincinnati, like I mentioned Heartland Wrestling Association, IWA. Mid-South was a couple hours away. And then there was like an NWF in Cincinnati, Northern Wrestling Federation, where guys like Abyss, Wildcat Chris Harris, Carl Anderson, all came from there. And so I had something, but around the nation, as far as I know, wrestling was not near the conglomerate that it is now. Now, I wrestle, myself, I wrestle 4 or 5 times a week. And that's just me. So, like, there's wrestling everywhere. And now, if you look on a national level, you got WWE, of course, globally. You got Impact. You got NWA has made a resurgence. You have AEW, which has come out of nowhere. You have Ring of Honor, who's still kicking. And I'm so glad now because I have some friends that work there that Marty Scurll has taken over a lot of the creative mindsets of everything, and they're like starting to work with NWA. You got MLW. I think I just named like 6 or 7 companies that you can get like legitimately signed contracts to in the states alone, not counting like the branches of WWE like NXT or NXT UK. And I think they're starting in NXT India or something like that in the near future.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, so wrestling is like you can like I would get excited when I was a kid, and you would have Monday Night Raw or Nitro. HWA live shows were on Tuesday, so I would have Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday would roll around, and it would be Thunder, WCW Thunder, and then Thursday was SmackDown, and then Friday was ECW. And then Saturday was usually another HWA or an NWF show. And then Sunday was like Sunday Night Heat or something. There was literally wrestling every day. Now there's wrestling all the time. You can watch wrestling all the time. And if you are a wrestling fan, it is a wonderful time to be a fan. And if you're a wrestler, it's a wonderful time too, because if you work hard, you can find work all the time. There's somebody running everywhere. Sorry, I just totally went off on a tangent right there.
Oh, no, it's fine.
Oh, no, it was great to hear that.
Aaron, go ahead. Go ahead, Chris.
No, you go ahead, my dude.
Okay. So, Aaron, I wanted to ask you, talk about a little bit of the character change. Like, you have a different look than you sported last year. What was the reason behind that? Is there any inspiration behind that? Kind of like, was it like a Clockwork Orange kind of character that you got inspiration for?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of. I think you draw for any character or anything like that. You draw a lot from reality. You draw a lot from things that you are connected to, and all that stuff. Like I said, when I think I've been wrestling for nearly 18 years or something. I've been wrestling a long time, and wrestling, it works in a weird way. Sometimes you start training and you immediately know what character you want to be, and then as soon as you get done training, you start moving into that character direction, and then there's your career. That's it. Take into consideration a guy like MJF, who basically knew who he was as soon as he walked out of a wrestling ring. He knew what he was, and that's what he's run with, and that's how he's gone. And then there are other guys who go through stages in their career trying to find something that works for them, and they wait for years. Jake Kris is a good example of that, and I feel like myself is a good example of that. Jake Kris has been a fantastic wrestler for as long as I have. But then eventually he kind of had a little stint where he stayed away from the business for a little bit because of injuries. Mm-hmm. He came back with this new rejuvenation with this artist character that he was doing. Yes. And now here it is a couple years later, he's on national TV. He's wrestling for Impact and so on and so forth. And I think I took a lot of that into consideration. And I had some personal stuff that came up in my personal life that affected me greatly. And it kind of just made me be like, all right, well, why don't I just do stuff that I want to do? Mm-hmm. And for a very long time, I just liked the look. Like me personally, I always see myself as, I've always seen myself as a little bit more like, I like dressing up. I like having a classier look, even if I don't do it all the time. I like it.
Yeah.
And when I got the opportunity to do a character change, I was like, well, let's go full tilt with it. Like, let's not just do the same thing that I've been doing for years. Like let's change the entire look. And then fortunately for me, it kind of just worked out because it was around Halloween that I did this character change, and I was going to a show, and I was like, well, I really, really definitely want to make it definite to the fans that there is something that has changed about me. So then I just started like thinking and started throwing stuff against the wall and everything like that. And like 5 or 6 years ago, I had this idea of, maybe I should just wrestle in nice clothes. And then I told somebody who I confided in at the time, maybe I think I'm going to do this. And their reply was, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Don't do that. And I was like, oh, okay. So I didn't do it. So this new opportunity came, and I was like, I think I'm gonna do it. So I started. So I did it. I was like, oh yeah, there's Clockwork Orange. He dresses with the all the white and everything like that. I always like I like the idea of purity. Because white, everybody knows, white is pure in a lot of forms. When a person gets married, they wear a white dress because it symbolizes purity and everything like that. But then the character in my mindset, the character in watching Clockwork Orange, it's a showcase of purity, but behind it, it's all kinds of insanity. And that was kind of what I was going for. So I just adapted that, and it kind of started there, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. And I started thinking of, well, what is the character? And essentially the character is I've been dead for years. And the aspect of that is I sacrificed my life to professional wrestling. And it killed me the moment that I stepped in the ring. So now you can't really do anything to shake me, and you can't really do anything to change me because I'm already dead. So essentially my sacrifice to the professional to professional wrestling is myself. So you can't really trump that.
Definitely.
So, yeah. So
I like it.
Yeah.
I see you have like the same shape as Hitman from the video game.
Yes.
Yeah. See, I see that as well.
Yeah. That was a happy accident, like, actually, because I started doing the Clockwork Orange things, and then I started saying, well, I like ties. I really would like to wear ties. And then I still mentally was just like, oh yeah, it's totally like a Clockwork Orange thing. I'm just putting a little twist on it. And then somebody was like, hey dude, you look like Hitman. And I was like, I do look like Hitman. You're right.
For sure. And I think that's the creativity that independent wrestling brings that not necessarily the big promotions have, letting the wrestler decide their course of nature. And I love that as well.
Absolutely. And like, honestly, dude, like I've noticed lately that like I mentioned, Kris being a fantastic wrestler and so on and so forth, but not really coming into himself until he started this artist character. The aspect of being a character is so much meatier now, and it's so much more emphasis on it that it makes everything about being a professional wrestler so much more fun now in a weird way. It's very cool. It's very cool.
For sure.
Certainly sounds like it.
Kris, you have anything? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, as you get to when you go back through all these loops and everything, where can we see you pop up next in terms of everything that you're doing right now? And actually, where would you like to perform next besides going towards New Japan and as you're going? Do you have anything in mind as that? Maybe opening up your own promotion and starting your own promotion? Things like that would be my question.
I mean, that's a really, really good question. As far as the promotion goes, I tried to start a promotion once. It didn't go the way I wanted it to, but maybe. But like coming up, I'm really trying to. I mean, I'm sure you guys are familiar with Independent Wrestling TV.
Yes.
IWTV deal, the streaming and everything like that. Yeah. My goal is to get on as much as that as I possibly can. Like, luckily, I'm going to Journey Pro this Thursday, and I'm wrestling Warhorse. I do believe it's for the Independent Wrestling championship. So hopefully that'll go well for me. The following night, I'll be at St. Louis Anarchy in their Strong Style Series tournament. I'll be wrestling Brett Eisen in the first round. Hopefully that'll go well for me too. So I'm really looking forward to that. And pretty much anywhere that I can get on that platform, I want to be all about. I think I said I've done one freelance underground show. I'd love to go back and do more of those. I'd love to do shows for freelance in general, just freelance shows. I'd love to do I got to do one show for Supgraps in Tennessee. I'd like to go back there and put in some work there as well. I'd like to do AIW. I think that's the only promotion in Ohio that I've never wrestled for. I'd really like to hit that this year if I can possibly make that happen. That'd be great. And man, like there's so many places I want to be. There's so many places I want to do. It's hard to just like narrow them down, really, because I look at it at this point in my career. There really is nothing stopping me, but opportunity. Like if I can get the opportunity, I feel like I can take advantage of it. And anytime I can get an opportunity, I'm going to take it. So yeah, like that's pretty much my goal is to associate myself with the IWTV thing. I think I personally, this is just me talking and maybe putting myself over, but I really think every time I watch AEW Dark or I see stuff about them on Instagram or my social media, I don't have the channel to watch Dynamite, so I haven't been able to watch Dynamite. But I feel like if I could just get into their view, that I might be something that they would love to have on their show. But
awesome. I mean, or even NWA.
Yeah.
There's also with the NWA, how they've been picking up a lot of people as of lately. You never know when they could be coming knocking on your door.
I mean, that's true. Just a couple of weeks ago, I wrestled Homicide at IWA Mid-South, and he obviously has a lot to do with what's going on down there. So maybe something could happen there. I would be all about that. Any place that I can get my name out there, any place that I can get people to see what I'm doing, because I'm really. I've been wrestling. I know I've said it multiple times, but I've been wrestling a very long time. But my passion for it seems to have grown like the Grinch's heart. It's gotten like 3 sizes too big here recently. Like the aspect of me knowing what I want and not just doing things to do them, but like having a goal and being goal orientated and putting forth my best foot. Is really exciting for me. So
definitely.
Yeah.
And congratulations, of course, on winning the IWA Mid-South Heavyweight title from Homicide.
Yeah. This has actually been my 7th reign as IWA Mid-South champion. That is only one from the record, actually. I've only been there for I want to say 3 years. I'm the only person in the history of professional wrestling to win the Ted Petty Invitational twice in a row. So I got quite a lineage there, almost to the point where it's like I don't even know what else I have to do there. I've pretty much I've put my flag in the property of IWA Mid-South, and it's been very, very good to me. And I mean, you were mentioning earlier, you asked me about like starting a promotion. Everything. I don't know that I'm ever going to be that guy, but I do have a wealth of knowledge that I have to give, and I have a particular set of skills that I can like kind of shadow out to a roster. And IWA definitely gives me that opportunity. There are young guys there that are fantastic. They are wonderfully skilled, and I'm really, really happy that IWTV is like started to pick up a lot of the IWA Mid-South product because it's going to give the world a chance to see a lot of these younger guys coming up and doing great things. Like it's crazy to see these young people, young guys and girls go out there and literally put their lives on the line to a great extent for the amount of fans that are in that area. Because unfortunately, there's like almost an oversaturation of wrestling in that general region. So not every show draws as much as it should be able to.
Yeah.
And these talented performers, they don't care. They don't, if there's 30 people in the crowd or there's like 250 people in the crowd, they still go out there and they still do crazy stuff because they love professional wrestling. And man, I really hope that people start jumping on the IWA Mid-South bandwagon as far as like the streaming services and the IWTV, because there's a lot of guys down there, that guys and girls, that I get the opportunity to kind of like help them out, because that's what wrestling, in my opinion, should be. There was guys when I was coming up that would take me under their wing and just give me like little bits of information and everything like that to help me get better. And unfortunately, as time goes by and everything like that, it doesn't seem like that's as much as it was a thing when I was younger, as it should be. And I'm hoping that starts to like change a little bit, and like maybe people won't be so incredibly self-motivated and start helping other people out and stuff. So it's an exciting time for wrestling, man. If you're a fan,
it really is.
And then it's a good time to be a fan. It really is.
Yeah, so many options. I mean,
it is.
The Warrior Wrestling Show. I don't know if you heard them, Aaron. They put on a great show. So I was there yesterday, and then we've got the Black Label Pro in 2 weeks. So there's just no shortage of wrestling. Even AAW is hosting a show this next Friday.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much good stuff out there. Like, and there really is no bounds to it. Like and like some of the performers out there, man, they blow my mind. And there's so much that can be learned and taught and everything like that. Yeah, like I just saw some of the clips from the Warrior Wrestling Show. Some of my guys were down there, the Rascals, which all three of those dudes are my boys, and I love those kids, and they're great. And anytime that they're on a flyer, I would definitely suggest you go and spend your hard-earned money to see them do what they do, because they're fantastic. And I saw that Brian Pillman Jr. is the guy now for them, which is it's exciting, man. Like I know Brian Pillman pretty well, man. He's been around my area for pretty much his whole run so far. So he's doing great things. And gosh, like I think my favorite wrestler right now is probably Kylie Ray. She is incredible. Everything she does is magic. I really look up to Effie because of the incredible ability to market himself. Like, oh, dude, I could literally sit here and just talk about other people and put them over this entire time. But I won't, because I'm sure there's other things to be said. But yeah, it's great.
Definitely.
Oh, trust me. As a fan of your work, knowing that you're the franchise of IWA, I grew up watching IWA Mid-South. I know what you've done there and everything. It's great to have you on the show. And if we could keep talking, we would. You have anything you'd like to say, Sean, from this point forward?
Oh, well, Aaron, I just want to wish you best of luck in your upcoming match with Ren Narita. And I'll be there for that at Black Label Pro. It's called Quantum. So make sure to check that out. Quantum Leap, actually.
Quantum Leap,
February 29th at RDS Gym. And, of course, we're going to see Eric Stevens maybe in his one of his final matches against Josh Alexander in the main event. Because I know he's after wrestling,
Yeah, man, which is so sad, but I'm so glad that I've at least got to be on some shows with him and follow him on Twitter even. Because he's such a good dude, he's such a cool dude, but I'm very, very glad that I got to be in his area for a little bit, man. Because he's a very cool dude. I remember watching him back in the day during his Ring of Honor run and everything like that. So it's very, very, very cool to be able to be around during his last run, man. And he seems like he's very much at peace with his decision, which is very hard for some guys. I know it would be hard for me if I decided, all right, well, that's it. I'm hanging up my kick pads. I'm putting them away. I'm going to hang up my tie for the last time. That's it. It would be a very difficult thing for me to do. But he seems to be at such a good, peaceful place. I'm very happy for him, man. And I'm just going to be glad to see some of his last matches and be in a locker room with him. It's good times, man. It's good times.
Yes, definitely, for sure. And I appreciate you again taking time to be on Pro Wrestling Enforcer podcast. Anything you'd like to plug, go ahead. If you have any merchandise or outlets or social media outlets.
Like you can follow me. You can friend me on Facebook, I think. It's just Aaron Williams, and my beautiful face will be in the picture. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at Planet Williams 1. That's the number 1 because somebody took Planet Williams, and I'm very upset at them.
Oh wow!
I know, right? It's just not cool.
Yeah.
But I warn you, I'm trying really hard to be good at Twitter. I don't think I'm doing a good job, but I'm trying. So
yeah, we're all trying to do better at Twitter.
If anybody's got any tips, I'm willing to hear them. So, on Instagram, I'm just Planet Williams. I have a Pro Wrestling Tees account. You just go there, you search me out. If you're ever on a show, or if you're ever at a show and you see me at a merch table, I got gear. So.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
For sure. And if you ever come to Chicago, you have time to kill, I'll take you to the Pro Wrestling Tee store. I'll drive you over there.
That would be dope. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see
maybe do a little video thing of something. So, yeah, man, just hit me up if you're ever in the area, you got time to kill. And I don't know if you're going to be at the C2E2.
I don't know if I'm going to be either. I haven't made any plans. I just started trying to figure out my Mania plans, which apparently, I haven't gotten like the confirmation completely yet, but I think I'm going to get to go to Mania this year and have a couple matches, which I'm very, very excited about because I've never been to Mania. I've never been to the extravagance of it, and I'm really hoping that it gets to work out the way I want it to, and I get to go. So,
literally, if you've never been, I've been to Mania weekend, you guys, and it's literally when you get off the plane till you get on the plane, it's nonstop wrestling.
It's exciting.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
It's really exciting. And we appreciate you taking time to be on the show and being a friend of the show, and we'll definitely send a shirt your way or hand you a shirt when we get some shirts made as well.
Awesome. That's great.
For real.
Thank you very much.
For real. No problem. Thank you for being on. So,
thanks for having me, guys.
You're welcome, man. You're welcome. Great to have you on.
Yes. Everybody check out Black Label Pro on the 29th and check out Planet Williams. Take care.
Check them out. Take care, everyone.